Greetings. Chester here, 45Y Music, composer and producer, and got another review for you. So let's just dive in. Today we're going to be looking at another Maschine expansion called Infinite Escape. This is a really fun one because this one's largely based on like Microhouse, which you can also think of as like the minimal techno of house music. And it's really fun to produce because you're relying a lot on space in many ways, and it's so expressive to be able to set up these rhythms and implement these rhythms in chords and set up like that sound. It's just a lot of fun, and we'll dive into that and what that looks like. So it says the elusive, nuanced, and intricate sound of minimal. Sure. Paired back beats, hybrid analog and acoustic percussion, warm subs, deep pads, and trippy synths. Just a small subset of details just to let you know kind of what you're in for. But we'll dive into that and we'll show you there's more than just kind of what that bullet said. And then that third one, once again, it's a Maschine expansion. You're going to get Maschine kits. You can get master presets, you can get Monark presets, and loops. You're just gonna get all those things. So, thanks, but we could have used that bullet for something else. Looks like we got what's kind of cool with these later releases. I believe this one was launched in 2020, at some point, maybe like June or July, mid 2020, I believe. And they have the creator of the pack is an artist named Alex Kidd, which I actually checked out the other day when I saw that he made this pack for the review, and his catalog's fun. So it's cool to see this video where he explains where he was coming from when he made this kit, and then as well as kind of being a fan. Just checking out his stuff and seeing what he's up to. So it's kind of cool to see who's behind these kits. I love this Native Instruments. And I hope that this is what's going on now because that's really cool. And I hope you do too. I hope you're checking those things out. Just another marketing drop here on what you're getting into, and then a list of everything that it comes with. So let's talk about that. Let's dive into the track we made. It's called The Odyssey. And if you saw my last video, I just mentioned that I'm going to play clips and parts. The good thing about this one is it's mostly done, but I still got a ways to go. I think I can play a bit of this and not run into the things that I'm worried about running into in the future. So let's play a bit of this song, and then we'll dive into the library and how it sounds. All right. And I think we got enough of the track there to dive in, starting with kicks. And out of the libraries I've reviewed so far, not many, but enough to get us going. And I think that the kicks here are my favorite so far. I'm a huge fan of how these kicks sound, so I ended up moving those to the top. You get a tight, round, just low, boomy kick on most of these. Some of them have some good punch to them. And we crossed the then there's a beatbox one right there. We crossed the 61 keys. So there are about 80 plus kicks that come in this pack that you can work with, and each one's got good fundamental sound, like a sample source to it to work with in most applications. So this great kicks, probably the biggest strength of this library is in some of these kick options that you have here. So I thought that was fantastic. And then I think I can work with these and then, switch to Timeless Glow when I want that kick, or Sashes when I want those big, high energy kicks that are supplied in that library. So the kicks are awesome here. And much can be said about these too. So the snares also expand 61. We go beyond that octave, and we're like in the upper 70s with the amount of, or about 70s, sorry, with the amount of snares. And the snares are tight, not a lot of tail to them, good attack. They just slap, you know what I mean? And will fit in your mix really well. Also really layer capable. Pairing these with like two, I just hit like 2 keys there, or 4, just right there. They can pair really well. Here's rim shots. You don't get very many of these, but same story. So about 7, 8. Looks like you get 8 of these. But very tight. Good attack to them. They're soft. Well, maybe I have it turned down actually. But good for layering too, or to add where you need them. Claps, we're looking at up to the 3rd octave here, so about 36 of these. Not to be a repeating record, but again, good attack to them, transient, straight to the point, just a tight sample. And I used the clap primarily in this, and I varied it up quite a bit too. There's different claps, just kind of playing everywhere, and it's subtle, but just enough to notice the change. Hi-hats, close hats. Again, we're going across all 61 keys here and into another octave and a half. A lot of closed hat options for you, which is great. And so you're going to be making closed hi-hat patterns for a very long time. They are very, they sound extremely tight, and that's because I'm doing a trick here. Shout out to a longtime close friend of mine, JP, or James Patrick's his DJ name. He's also a phenomenal electronic music educator, owns a school called Slam Academy. If you want to learn Ableton Live like you never have before, and just to get inspired in the best way possible, I can't recommend him enough and his school. But he showed me this a long time ago, 10 plus years ago, when I would watch him play. And it's this time velocity on a hi-hat, where you set this, and I also set the volume velocity, and then I have a velocity randomizer here with settings that I just liked. And then you turn this up to something that feels good, and let's solo this and play it. And then you use that decay and you tighten it up. So out here it sounds like this, but I'm going to bring it in until I like what I'm hearing, and I can hear every hit just kind of having a different timbre to it that I like. And we're trying to emulate a real drummer when he's hitting the hi-hat, and every hit just being different because of the way the stick is hitting the hi-hat, the placement of that, the amount of energy that's going into each hit just being slightly different. We're emulating that into those settings. So shout out to JP on that one. And I feel like we got that going with those settings. So yeah, they're a little tightened up there. Then open hat, just doing the classic house to get that rhythm going, right? And with open hats, we also get to 61 keys, and then just above that, so about 64ish, 63. And each one good variety of open hats. So you just kind of choose your flavor and go with it. Couldn't force any tom parts, so I don't have any here for you, unfortunately. I tried a few, but just nothing was kind of working for this song. But fun toms. I think there's some application there for sure in the future to get some sort of rhythms going with those toms. 3 cymbals. Got that one, and this one. And I ended up using that one in the song. Just good indication of where one is. Maschine, still to this day, stays at my desk and at my in my template. Just for kit observation, just to get inspired. And stay tuned on the next review if it's here or if it's gone. But we're trying our best to keep it. Perk loops. I'm just showing that this is not part of the expansion, and it's not part of Native Instruments or anything like that. Just part of my collection, and it's very quiet. Just very much in the mix, just for feel and just to help the groove. That's its only purpose. You should barely hear it when everything's said and done. Let's see here. Let's talk about these first. A lot of percussion options. Again, we're going to be spanning the 61 key into 2 to 3 octaves, actually above even. I think this is the one where I'm getting over 100 perk hits and options, where I might have ran out of space even. So big variety there. Would love to spend a day to sort this out and clean this up so that it's something I can observe and know what I'm hitting and grabbing when I need it. That's fun. So you're going to be able to create all your percussion loops on your own with this, and having fun with that. Shaker, I think there was about an octave of these. Octave and then some, so 13, 14 shakers. And again, this is no different than the hi-hat that I was showing you, that tutorial that JP taught me a long time ago. Just random hat or random velocity, and then just that night through the decay down. So if I turn that up, we'll hear them. But I had them very tight because I wanted it to sound like like my percussionist is flying at the pants by the pants, and I just want them to just shake it real tight and quick and fast. And I just think it kind of cut through the mix nicely with that. And then if I have just all 3 of these percussions going, Timeless Glow's just playing some like hand bongo kind of percussion just to mix with this one. That's why I felt I needed that real punchy, fast shaker, where every kind of hit sounds somewhat differently. And that's the drums. So they sound like that. All right, and then we'll go through the rest of the library here. So sub bass sounds really great. You could even find these being like replaced by 808s. They don't have the tail. They're not going to last as long, but maybe there's some options there for you. No, that's the source sound, I believe. So I think that's, yeah, because mine's, this is all open. Yeah, we're all up in there. One of them has a kind of like a layered like a noise to it, like that one. So that's kind of fun. Otherwise, the rest are pretty clean. Just low subs. We got bass notes, which are also good variety here, but some of them also borderline as kind of sub bass. Looking about almost half the keyboard there. 3 octaves, so 36, 37 options there. Good amount of bass. Synth pads, I did move those to the top because I really like the synth pads that come in this library. They sound cool. Here's some synth notes. These are going to be processed. So first, let me take the processing off. I'll talk about that in a second. They sound great too. Get about 11 of these. And then I just recently bought sound toys. It's been forever, I know, but I just finally bought it. It was on sale, and I'm just such a huge fan. And so I made this synth part. Just got a kind of a rhythm going. And then with how I bought sound toys, I got this for free, Artura's Chorus Juno 6, which I am the biggest Juno fan. As my favorite synth, at least one of them. I probably couldn't choose. You're gonna show me a MS-20. I'll be like, that's my favorite. I do love the Juno though, and it's has a lot to do with this chorus that's on it. So this was kind of fun to see that I got this. So I installed it and I put it on here. I think my favorite part about this is the mix knob, because I can just now make any pad or synth like Juno like with this. And so I did add that, and I just added some nice mix chorus in there, and so I felt that sounded really good. And then obviously with sound toys, I had to start adding sound toy stuff. This is what you do when you buy new gear, right? You got to start using it, give it a shot. And so had fun with this Phase Mistress shifter. We added a groove to that. So it just modulates and has some fun attack to it. And then we emphasize that with the Filter Freak, also adding some attack and emphasizing the frequency range of kind of what's going on there. So it does bring up the Phase Mistress and what that's doing up a bit. And then that fits really well with the bass and the percussion, this rhythm that's going on. And where it stops, that's that space I'm talking about with minimal that's so fun, is you take things out and you let something else kind of take over, and that becomes a rhythm in its own. So you have each element kind of coming in and out and like talking to each other, letting the other speak, and you get such fun grooves that way, and the way you're able to express those each individual musical element. It's just so much fun. And then we got synth leads here. It's just making a one-hit idea. But got about six of those synth leads. Just synth hits. They could go into synth shorts. We got a bell. Got a cool crunch layer underneath that. But nice little fun instrument here to play some ideas. Vocals. There's several of these, but we got, and then let me shut off. We got more sound toys on that. So
disco.
It's about eight vocal ideas, and I did add kind of one that was rhythmic and just kind of there. And then because I, again, wanted to try Sound Toys and see what I have within this bundle, just added a primal tap on there and a little plate, which is a typical 1-2 punch on vocals, the delay and the reverb. And that plate sounds really great. So I just mixed that in as a insert and just gave these vocal ideas a little tail on them. Just set them nicely in the mix. Sound effects. This one does not. Oh yeah, it does not span. We're about 3 octaves, so 36. Sound effects. And I several times tried to make sound effects ideas. Nothing was really hitting except for this session one. It's just like a ping. But I still got a ways to go on this album and this track, so definitely we'll use some there. Now we're heading into Massive and Monarch and the presets you get here. So we'll start with Massive. This idea is playing a fun little kind of lead that's kind of moving around a little bit in the pan, in the stereo field. It's just kind of moving, it feels like. And then browser, if an escape. So I think the website said you get 40 presets here, all set up here. So you got a really good variety of types. So good pads, leads, bass, some percussion, and then some sound escapes or ambient motion like pads or synths. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, we used that one just to kind of add a little lead kind of over it. And then I copied it here and just tightened up the filtering. And then Monarch, I think you get about 20 to 30 patches here on this. And I'm frustrated with Monarch because every time I close my set and come back up, so this is a dig on Monarch and maybe Reactor, but not on this expansion. So with that news, just be known, because this happens with all expansions. But I will choose this, and I think it keeps the preset, but it always renames it to either Untitled or Undefined or Art Please, I guess. I don't even know where Art Please like comes from, but it's Desco. That's it. That's the one I chose. So it's kind of weird that keeps happening. I don't know why, but with that said, I'll get back to reviewing this. So thank you for listening for that little thing. But if you're running into that, that's what's going on. You're not alone. But a lot of good options here. I think there's some variety in the Monarch. That was cool too. Typically you're just gonna get like bass is what we've been seeing, and then a couple patches. But here, that was not the case. There are bass, but there's also some good synth patches and good synth leads, as well as a lot of percussion, a lot more percussion. There's claps, there's hats, one kick here I see, and then some snares. So, and then a couple synth effect like patches. So good variety here too, which was awesome to see. And then I'm just playing a bass line with Monarch there. All right, and then the last thing to review here are the loops. If I go in here, Infinite Escape. So I got these all organized. A good amount of bass loops, claps, some cymbals, drums, the full idea, like 4-bar, 8-bar ideas with the instruments in there. Some effects loops, which can be fun, hi-hat loops, and so on and so forth. There might be reviews out there that show each one of these. My reviews tend to just show you the application of the library, and if that at all interests you, then maybe you might want it for the goals you're set out to do. So let's show an application of the loops. I've added a hi-hat loop here. It sounds like this normally. Oh, it does not. It sounds like this. All right, so let's say I want to make that my own, because I don't like just sliding the loops in and saying I'm good. I will start by setting the warp to like beats. I'll throw preservative transient. I think the option here is off. It's either off or loop forward, but I think it's off. And then the envelope, I'm just going to tighten that up. So it sounds like this. I'm just going to bring it in. Just have a nice, just a tighter sound to that. I've turned it down a bit and I pitched it down. I like pitching things down, -3, -4 semitones, just to get that quality I want. Threw on the house groove and got a good start to it. And so now I've kind of changed it versus this. And another option is I could slice the new MIDI track. Leave a comment below if you want a tutorial on how to create your own slicing presets. I totally suggest doing that. But I can go any way here with this because I typically use a keyboard for when I'm playing drums. I do not use pads, but if you use pads, you'll probably want to find the 16 slices and then slice to that, or less, 8, just whatever works for you. And then in this case, as I'm listening to it, I'm thinking I would do either half or half note or quarter. Probably go with the half to start. Actually, I'd probably go with the quarter because we're looking like we're always hitting on the half here. So I'd probably just end up here and then hitting OK and then start playing out some ideas and changing it up entirely. If I wasn't doing that, then I would probably try this out. Dr. Device is a lot of fun. I believe it's free by Audio Damage. Audio Damage release all their legacy plugins for free, and this was one of them. And you can have a lot of fun with this. I mean, it's filters and delays. What can go wrong, right? So, soup sandwich. And so on and so forth. You just have a lot of fun with that. And so you change things up a little bit. Don't make it. Don't just drop it in and leave it. You won't have fun that way. That's going to conclude that part of the tutorial. So a lot of loops and a lot to work with here. So I can give this 2 thumbs up. Not only because I'm a huge fan of producing this genre of minimal and how it stayed true to that with all the sounds and everything that you get. All the drums are tight. The envelope is just the transients there, and you can layer it really well, and it just kind of gets to the point, and then gives you space to kind of set up your rhythms and get going. A lot of samples come with this. As I was showing, it's all laid out. We're going 60 plus on each different sound and source. So however you are setting up your samples and triggering them, a lot of options for you just from that alone, or even in Maschine. Let's see, a lot of loops, and I thought it was very awesome how they're all just kind of equally kind of where they need to be. The synths were really great. So yeah, I think this is 2 thumbs up. I think you can also take this to other genres. The sub bass, you can replace those to like what you have for an 808. You can do a lot with this library. I really believe that. So yeah, this is a really good one to add, and I added it to my template because retro house has ties to minimal and vice versa. So I believe minimal was based on like the 90s and kind of became its own genre, and all these artists made their approach, and that came after that classic house that I'm going after. So they fit really well with the libraries that I have. And that's going to be it today. Hope this had some use to you. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more. And we'll see you at the next review. Take care. Peace.